1 Corinthians 15:49 says, "Just as we have borne the image of the earthy, so we will also bear the image of the heavenly." That means that our resurrection body will be like Jesus' resurrection body in some ways. And what was his resurrection body like after he rose from the dead? Well, it was the same, but it was different. It was the same body that was crucified. His body lived again. There was not a body left in the tomb. And yet, at times, even his close friends didn't recognize him. Luke 24:16 says that their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. And then later on in verse 31 it says that their eyes were opened and they recognized him. And he vanished from their sight. He had a solid body. In verse 39 he says, "See my hands and my feet, that it is myself. Touch me and see. For a spirit does not have flesh and bones, as you see that I have." He ate food. They gave him a piece of broiled fish, and he took it and ate it before them. And yet, he could suddenly vanish, and he could also appear in a locked room. John 20:19 and 20 reads, "So when it was evening on that day, the first day of the week, and when the doors were shut where the disciples were for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood in their midst and said to them, 'Peace be with you.' And when he had said this, he showed them both his hands and his side. The disciples then rejoiced when they saw the Lord. The doors were shut, and yet he appeared in their midst." So he had a real physical, solid body, and yet it was not limited by physical properties like ours is. And if that's not curious enough, he also still bore the scars of his crucifixion. Which makes me ask the question, if our resurrection bodies will be like his, will we also bear our scars? I suppose it's a possibility, although the Bible doesn't specifically say one way or the other. However, Romans 8:21 does tell us that all of creation is to be redeemed and restored. The creation itself also will be set free from its slavery to corruption into the freedom of the glory of the children of God. And so it makes me think that we can safely infer that our scars, our blemishes, our defects will be redeemed as well. All traces of sin and its effect on our bodies and in our lives and in the world around us will be erased. If he keeps his scars throughout all eternity, it would seem to remind us of what he did for us and the price that he paid for our redemption. You are not redeemed with silver and gold, but with the precious blood of Jesus.